I guess I'll start with this question, and like I said, just coming off of a conversation with a pastor earlier this week, you could just see, I could just see in the conversation with him kind of the weight, that he feels coming into the Christmas season, and specifically Christmas Eve, or that message right there around Christmas. That's the biggest service, here at the end of the year. What would you guys say, just in general, to pastors before we get into like details of what you would recommend or not recommend? Let's start just with, what would you want to say to those pastors who are in that moment and experiencing that weight or that pressure?
I would want to say that it is not the biggest service of that year. It is a service of that year. It's an important service. You want to make it a meaningful service, but do not put the pressure of the world on yourself, your creative team, your leadership teams. It's an important moment. Don't make it more than what it is. Um, the Bible has nothing to say about Christmas Eve services. The New Testament church was not built upon Christmas Eve services. And so I think right off the bat, I would want to encourage people not to put that kind of pressure on yourself, because first of all, over time, you will see that the results really don't bear that out. Christmas Eve services over the years, we had people regularly reflect back on how they came to Christ, or how that was their first introduction, especially unchurched and dechurched people, of which we had an enormous large population of both of those groups of people regularly coming in to the church where I was pastoring there, as well as the one where I'm at right now at First Baptist Church Orlando. But for most people, they're coming in, if they're not already a part of that church, and they're being exposed to something that in time, if they have a need again, they will remember that service and that moment, and they'll circle back to you. But usually that's 4 to 6, up to 8 months later when they have that reference point.
Yeah, I'll jump in here too and just say, I think part of the way of relieving pressure is to remember at Christmas, um, very few people are looking for something new. They're looking for something familiar.
Yeah.
And so just the same way, when you go home for Christmas, you're not actually looking for anything new, but there is something powerful about returning to something familiar, and the rootedness of that in the middle of a world that feels like it's changing all the time. What are the things that I can count on? And so I think, at Christmas, just recommending to churches, we do want to bring our best, but we don't have to bring something brand new. Actually, we want to bring our best in a way that creates familiarity and has a sense where people are returning to something that anchors their heart in the middle of a world that feels like it's changing all the time.